All right, so today's talk is kind of a sequel of last time I did a Spark Sessions talk. It's about making smash burgers, but I'm using this making smash burgers as a sort of, well, you'll see, look, so it's basically a way to organize a project. Project is basically lots of tasks that you have to like organize together, and it will basically you have to organize it in a way that you finish it in time, and you have to put everything after another. And so this is what we're going to end up with. You have all these tasks, 15 minutes, or frying onions takes this thing. And you don't want to have this like all floppy everywhere. You have to have it organized in a way where basically organized in a way that you can it takes only a certain amount of time. Yeah. And the way it's organized currently is A, B, C, D. It's for if one person was doing it. That's how you're going to start off. This thing is called precedence tables, precedence diagramming. And the way you do it is you have the task organized as in a way that one person can do it, and you put them on a dependence table, on a activity chart, activity table. And what you do is for A, you'll see it doesn't depend on anything. You can just start frying onions straight away. For B, it doesn't depend on anything. C, so for all of these, depends on nothing. Now, when it comes to F, slicing the bun, you have to have the plates out to start slicing the bun. So depends on D. G depends on C and D because C is weighing the ball and meat. You have to have the meat ready to start heating the grill or like the skillet if you're doing it on a frying pan. And D, the buns have to be the tools have to be ready. Yeah. So you see how that works for the rest of them. O, you have to have N. N has to be done. Put cheese on patties and steam. So you have to have like to put always basically you have to finish the burger. So you get the patties, put them in the buns, put everything together. So you have to have done the cheese, put the cheese on the meat. A has to be done. You have to have fried the onions so you can put the onions on. J has to be done. You have to have put this burger sauce on the bun. So next step from this would be, I don't know, working. You turn this into a diagram. But this diagram helps us see which ones we can start working on straight away. So this diagram, what you do is you start from, where is it? Um, so you put the ones that don't depend on anything connected to these. So let me explain. Go back a bit. I forgot to say this. So this is called a network. It's called a network or graph, and these things are nodes, and it shows you the order of like operations, I guess. And these things are the activities. These like connections, they're the activities. So B is like the thing that you have to do. You saw in this previous one. Those activities, tasks. And then you use these to organize them. For example, uh, from F depends on D. So D goes here, F depends on D. You can't start F until D is already complete. C doesn't depend on anything, so you start goes from 0. B doesn't depend on anything, so it goes from 0. G depends on F and D. C and D, sorry. C and D. So this is the first problem. You can't have D going straight to 2. You can't have 2 going to the same thing. So this thing is called the dummy activity. It's not an actual activity, but it shows that it relies on D being already complete. And the next thing would be, you can see you can do that for the rest of them. The next thing would be turning into this called a Gantt chart. And what that does is you can organize it for like which person does which tasks. This is like the final thing that you do. You'll end up with being able to see like this person does this thing, this person does that. The Gantt chart for the Gantt chart, what you do is there's this thing, it's called the critical path. Critical path is the order of tasks. Like a path of tasks that there's like no space in between them. You can't delay any of them out. Or other tasks like this, like there's a floating time. which is you can delay it until this one is done. So this one has to be done for this one to actually this one this one needs to be finished by the time this is finished. It doesn't have to be finished straight away. So there's like a floating time. It's not part of the critical path. But for these, you can see all of there's no like floating time. You have to finish them straight away. So the first thing you do on this Gantt chart or scheduling diagram, is also called, is you make this this table. It's like a timetable. So these are like the minutes. You can do it in like hours, sometimes projects take hours, days, whatever. So you do that. Oops. And then you put the critical path on. So C is 15, you add them all, you put them there. And what you can do, which is what I've done here just to make it easier, is you just assign the whole critical path to one worker. You put the whole critical path on one worker and it just makes the rest of it easier. These, what you're supposed to do is, I was planning on editing it, but I can't edit it. These have like a floating time, so you can move them around. So what you want to do is you want to put them and just have as little workers as possible, or you want to reduce the work, like even the workflow for each person. So you just so D depends on D has to be finished by 12. No, it has to be started by 12. So it can go anywhere between this 12 and this 1, but and F has to be finished before 21, but it can't start until D is finished. So it goes after D. Really, I could have put it under like Ilyas goes here, right? So you can put F over here anywhere between 3 and 12. Or even for the critical paths, you can put G down here, whatever. As long as it has to stay in its exact time, like where it has to be done. And with that, you can sort of see that you can organize tasks like this for many people. It's that's basically what it's for. That is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, oh, this has like the tasks. You can see like this person does this person does that. That's the end of the presentation.